Good morning, children. In the last class, we were already started the discussion with respect to the introduction of the biology. In that one, we were already started the discussion with respect to the branches, also the growth of the biology, okay, and also the evidences to show that Indians actually the pioneers of the science or the biology. So in this class, we will continue the discussion with respect to the branches of biology. Okay, fine. See, the biology is divided into several branches. So this division can be made in at least three different ways. Okay. So what are those three different ways? In that one, first one is in terms of major kinds of organisms. Okay. So then in second one, the terms of special group of organisms. And the third one is in terms of approach on studying it. Okay, so this is how the division can be made in at least three different ways. Okay, so that means the biology is divided into several branches. So this division can be made in at least three different ways. Okay, so let us discuss one by one. In that one, the first one is in terms of major kinds of organisms. Okay. Yeah. So in that one, first one is, as I said, the zoology. You know very well that the zoology is nothing but the study of animals, isn't it? That means the zoology is concerned with animals. Okay? And that means who does make the observation about the zoology is considered as or called zoologist. Okay? The zoology is concerned with animals. Okay? Fine. Which is including, the beginning from the microfauna as well as the, containing both macro and micro. Okay? So, second one is botany. The botany is concerned with plants. Okay? The botany is concerned with plants. So, that means the study of plants. The study of plants is called botany. Okay. So and here one who does make the observation about the botany is called botanist. Okay. Fine. And the next one is, so this is a recent one, and many of people they may be not aware about all these things. The human biology. Okay. What is human biology? The study of man as a living organism and his relationship with other living organisms. Okay, so this is what we call human biology. Okay, and the next one is anthropology. So this is a recent one. So how can you define the anthropology? Means the study of man and human society, which comes under anthropology. Okay, so in Greek terminology, anthropos means man, logos means study. Okay, the one who study about the anthropology is called anthropologist. So that means whatever we were discussed till now, there are majorly four branches: the botany, zoology, human biology, and also anthropology. So these are all comes under the in terms of major kinds of organisms. Okay, so this is the first step of the branches. Okay, the division. So next one, let us discuss the major branches of biology in terms of special group of organisms. Okay, so in that one, the first one is bacteriology. You know what is the meaning of the bacteriology? The study of bacteria. Okay, the study of bacteria is known as bacteriology. One who study about the bacteria, so they are considered as bacteriologists. So in this branch, they will study about the various type of the bacterial strains with respect to the life cycle, uses and harmful of the bacteria. Okay. The next one is viruses. So nowadays you must have heard about the COVID, isn't it? COVID-19. So that is also a virus. So we will study about the viruses in the specialized branch called virology. One who study about the viruses is considered as virologist. Okay. So the next one is mycology, the study of fungi. Okay. You must have heard about the terminology in the earlier classes, the kingdom mycota. So that means mycota means the fungi. Okay. The study of fungi is known as mycology. Okay. And the next one is entomology. What is entomology? Yes, the study of insects. Okay. In the earlier classes, we were studying about the phylums. You must have heard about the insects. Okay, or in generally arthropoda is considered as largest phylum among the animal kingdom, isn't it? So that means the study of the insects is called entomology. Okay, fine. And the next one is ichthyology. Ichthyology means it is the study of fishes. Okay, ichthyology means the study of fishes. Generally, in this branch we will study about the edible fishes. Okay, edible fishes is called ichthyology. So there is another terminology also used. You must have heard about aquaculture. In case of aquaculture, we not only grow the fishes, so we also grow the pearl oysters, okay, and also crabs, prawns, like that. Okay, then that will be considered as a aquaculture. But what about in case of the ichthyology? It is the study of the fishes. Generally, we will grow the edible fishes, okay, with the help of this ichthyology knowledge. And the next one is herpetology. Okay, herpetology. I must have heard about the herbs. What is the herbs? The crawling organisms which is found on the earth's surface is known as herbs. Okay, that is nothing but herpetology, the study of lizards, snakes, which comes under this branch, so which is popularly called herpetology. Okay, one who study about the herbs, they are called herpetologist. Okay, fine. The next one is ornithology. Okay, ornithology means the study of birds. Okay, generally you may not believe, so there are thousands of different varieties of the species of the birds which is found around the world. So those are all things we will study under the specialized branch of the biology is called ornithology. Okay, and the next branches, the division of the branches of the biology in terms of approach on studying it. See here, there are the three, the pictures which is given in the slide. The first one which is related to the human anatomy, the second one is related to the plant anatomy, third one is related to the animal or zoo anatomy. Okay, so now you can ask me the question, what is anatomy? How can you define the anatomy? Yes, the study of gross structure of an organism as seen in dissection. Okay, that's why I have given the three examples. The study of a structure of gross structure of an organism as seen in the dissection. How we will study? By dissecting them. Okay, so that's what we call anatomy. Okay, and again the question arises as I have given the three examples. The study of, if we study the gross structure of human, then it will be considered as the human anatomy. If we study the gross structure of the plant, then it will be considered as the plant anatomy. And if we study about the gross structure of an organism or animals, okay, so then it will be considered as the animal or zoo anatomy. Okay, so this is with respect to the anatomy. The next one is a specialized branch is called morphology. Okay, so generally the study of form and structure of plants and animals. So that means we will study the morphological characters. Okay, so essentially it includes the understanding and interpretation of structure. That means which is including both external and internal structure of an organism. But sometimes students wrongly consider the morphology to be considered with to study of only external parts of organism. But remember, this is not like that. the study of form and structure of plants and animals. It includes essentially the understanding and interpretation of both external and internal structure of an organism. So as I said, in case of morphology also, so there are three generally sub-branches: the plant morphology, animal morphology, and human morphology. So as it is same, if we study the form and structure of the plant, then it will be plant morphology. Okay, then if we take an example of animals, the study of form and structure of animals, then it will be animal or zoomorphology. And if we study about the human, then the study of form and structure of a human is considered as human morphology. Okay, so here are the three examples. See in the slide, the left side, the first one, that is the study of the plant morphology, and the second one is zoo or animal morphology. So we will study about the external characteristics. Then if we take a human, okay, so these are all, it will be related to this morphology. Okay, the next one is the very important one, the cytology. Okay, what is cytology? The study of structure and functions of animal and plant cells is called cytology. Okay, so generally if you take example of plant cell and animal cell only, they will be containing, there are different type of the organelles, isn't it? So cell and its organelles, we will study about all these things. What are the structure of the cell, and how it will be the difference with respect to the plant cell and animal cell. So these are all we will study under the specialized branch called cytology. Okay, the study of structure and function of animals and plant cell. Okay, and we can also say the cell and its organelles. The study of cell and its organelles is also called cytology. Okay, the next branch, histology. What is histology? Yes, in generally we can also say the study of tissues, but specifically the study of minute structure of tiny bits of the body as seen with the help of a compound microscope. Okay, in generally, as I said, the study of tissues. Okay, in case of the plant tissues, it will be considered as a plant histology. What about in case of the humans or animals? Animal histology or human histology. Okay, so this is how generally we will study about the tissues. There are various type of tissues which is present in the humans. For example, here only there are 4 type of the tissues which is given: the connective tissue, epithelial tissue, muscle tissue, nervous tissue. Okay, what about in case of the plant? Yes, simple permanent tissues and complex permanent tissues. You must have studied earlier classes also. Parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. So this all comes under simple permanent tissues. What about xylem and phloem, which comes under complex permanent tissues, isn't it? Yeah. The next one is histology. Okay. After the histology, the physiology. What is physiology? Yes, the study of functions and activities of organism and their parts. We can also say, being a living organism, we will do a different type of the life activities. Okay, if we take example of humans only, the nervous system, or we can also say nervous and endocrine physiological activity, energy, okay, how we will get, and the renal, that is nothing but excretory systems, and how the drugs will be utilized by our body, and the respiratory system, cardiovascular system. So these all will be considered different physiological activities. Okay, so that's what I said. If we study about the human physiological activities, then it will be human physiology. If we take the example of the plants, so then there also you can identify different type of the physiological activity, like photosynthesis, isn't it? Okay, and also what about the xylem and phloem, that transportation, isn't it? Even respiration. So these are all considered under the plant physiology. That means the study of functions and activities of the plant and their parts. It will be considered plant physiology. And in case of humans, the study of functions and activities of humans, okay, is studied under the human physiology. Okay. The next one is embryology. Okay. You know what is embryo? Yes. First of all, after the fusion of the gametes, okay, after the fusion of male and female gametes, so it will be start dividing. The zygote will start dividing in the form of the embryo, isn't it? The study of formation and development of embryo of plants and animals is called embryology. Okay, here are the examples I have given. If we study about the formation and development of the plant embryo, so then it will be plant embryology. In case of the humans, so then the study of formation and development of humans is called human embryology. And what about in case of the animals? It is nothing but animal embryology. Okay. So this is how the step-by-step mechanism it is given here. For example, beginning with the egg, then after the fusion it is get converted to zygote. It will develops to form a two-celled stage. Then it will be turned into the octant and globular shape, triangular shape, heart shape, and finally, yes, the cotyledons are formed. So and it reaches to the mature stage. Okay. So and what about the humans also? The beginning from the first day. So later on, going towards the based on the weeks, the first week, second week, third week, the first month, second month, third month, fourth month, like that until it will be get converted into complete matured embryo. Okay. So these are all things we will study under a specialized branch called embryology. Okay. And the next one is very important one, the taxonomy. Okay. What is the taxonomy? The science of naming, grouping, and classifying plants and animals. Okay. It is also called systematics. Okay. So generally the taxonomy is very important for the purpose of study. Okay, for the purpose of study, if you don't know exactly, okay, the taxonomy only, how can we study about the plants and animals, isn't it? With the help of the taxonomy, so generally we will identify, that means the names, based on the names, we will group, okay, and we will classify. For example, in case of plants only, okay, first we will observe and we will name either it is a monocot or dicot. Then after we will group into either it is angiosperms or gymnosperms. Then finally we will identify, isn't it? The naming, grouping and classification. Okay, which is comes under the which particular classification. So like that in case of animals also, by considering with respect to the phylum, beginning from the kingdom, later we will consider under the particular phylums based on the particular characteristics. Okay. So and it is also called systematics. Fine. Okay. So here is an example how animals are classified. The largest classification begins with the domains. Okay, then the kingdoms. For example, you must have heard about the kingdom Plantae or kingdom Animalia. Okay, then after the phylum with respect to the plants, then the class, okay, order, family, genus and species. Okay, so these are all how the animals are classified under particular, the categories, isn't it? Yeah. So here are some of the examples in the animal kingdom only. So it is majorly classified into, okay. So in the earlier, the kingdom Protista or kingdom Protist, Monera, okay, the kingdom Fungi, kingdom Plants or Plantae, or kingdom Animalia. Okay, so this is how they are classified based on the taxonomy. Okay, so based on the taxonomy, so these are identified as different kingdoms. Okay, so the next one is ecology. What is ecology? Yes, the study of relationship of an organism to both its living and non-living, so generally environment. Okay, so what is ecology? The study of the relationship of an organism to both its living and non-living environment. That means living means biotic components, which is including all the living components, including humans, insects, plants, okay, microbes, birds, everything which is comes under the that is living or biotic components. What about the non-living? Dead. Okay, earlier it may be living, now it is a dead, and including sunlight, soil, water, temperature. So these are all will be considered as a non-living. Okay, so that means the non-living components. So in this branch, what we will study? We will study of the relationship of an organism to both its living and non-living environment. Okay. The next one is, see here the one of the example which is given for the diagrammatic representation of the simple ecosystem. So how the energy generally enters into the ecosystem through the plants, that is nothing but producers. So by utilizing the solar energy, the plant synthesize, that means a photo means light. Okay, with the help of the light they synthesize their own food, that's why they are considered as producers. Then the energy will moves towards the next level from producers to the primary consumers, that is nothing but herbivores. Then later, whenever the secondary consumer, that is the carnivores, engulfs the herbivores, the energy will transfer from one level to another level. Okay, then finally whenever it is fed by sometime the higher carnivores, or if they don't feed, finally whenever it is died, the decomposers will get converted to simpler form. Okay, the decomposers are nothing but, so generally which is including various insects, worms, bacteria and microbes. Okay, so this is how exactly the energy, okay, energy transfers from one trophic level to another trophic levels. So these are all we will study under the branch ecology. Okay, so here the example ecosystem. See, just observe this slide. What may you can identify? Yes, there are different continents, isn't it? Then, okay, let me to tell you. So this is the different continents which is having the floral kingdoms. The distribution of the flora with respect to the different continents which is around the world. Okay, yeah. So can you identify with the clue of the first slide? Yes. So here the faunal. Okay, there is nothing but fauna, distribution of the fauna with respect to different continents in the world. Okay. So you can ask me, sir, what is flora and fauna? Flora means including, the primary are the microscopic plants to all the, micro and macro plants will be considered under the flora. And fauna means which is including both, it means all the microscopic, macroscopic, prokaryotes and eukaryotic animals comes under the fauna. Okay. So in biogeography we will study about all these things. Okay, the study of geographical distribution of the plants and animals. Okay, so you can ask me, sir, how? Yes. For example, why can't we grow the Kashmiri apples in our districts? What about, can we grow the mangoes in the Kashmir? No. So how it will be differs? Yes. So this is nothing but the geographical distribution with respect to the plant, okay, plant species as well as animal species, because they are get adapted to only that particular level. That means the higher and lower altitudes, temperature, availability of the water, the pattern of the soil. So these all will counts the, the existence. So for the purpose of existence as well as the growth of those plants and animal species. Okay, fine. So those are all things we will study under a specialized branch called biogeography. The next one, can I get any clue? Yes. So here the different pictures which is given related to the paleontology. What is paleontology? The study of prehistoric forms. The study of prehistoric forms of life through fossils of plants and animals. Prehistoric means earlier they maybe existed, now they became extinct. Okay, then fossils means remnants, death or remnants. Okay, so parts of the dead animals or the remnants of the plants will be considered as the fossils. Okay, so in the biology, the specialized branch called paleontology, we will study of prehistoric forms of the life through fossils of plants and animals. Okay. The next one is evolution. Okay, next one is evolution. You must have heard about generally man from monkey, isn't it? And what about the angiosperms? It is believed that they are evolved from the microscopic algae. Okay, how it is all happened? Okay, during the period of the evolution, generally they happened like this. Then the question arises, what is evolution? The study of origin and descendant of organisms. Okay, the study of origin and descendant of organisms is called evolution. We can also say in another words, a gradual changes. Okay, step by step. So there is a gradual changes which is took about millions of years. Okay, so that's what we study under a specialized branch of biology is called evolution. The next one is very important branch of the biology is called genetics. Okay, see, I will tell you one thing. If generally somebody will ask us, why are you like this? That means why are you a dwarf, or why are you tall? Why your pattern of hair like this only? Okay, or what is the reason behind the color of your skin? We may not able to answer in generally. Okay, but we will get answer for all these questions in our biology. That is a specialized branch is called genetics. Okay, the science of transmission of body characteristics. That means both the similarities and differences from parents to offspring. Okay, is called genetics. That means the phenomenon of transmission of the body characteristics from parents to next generation. Offspring means next generation. Okay, and also this deals with the study of heredity. That's what I said. Generally you must have heard about while we are discussing. Okay, so he or she, somewhat they look like their father or their mother, or somewhat they look like their grandparents. So this is because of the transmission of the body characters and the inheritance. How it is happen? The phenomena of transmission of characters. Okay, and the variations. You are not an exact copy of your dad, or if you are not an exact copy of your mother, and still you are having some differences. And sometimes even the children's, if the parents are dwarf, unfortunately their children may become very tall. Okay, and sometimes there may be possibility of the medium, the height. Okay, or sometimes they may become dwarf. How it will be differs. So that variations, it is because of the variation. The degree of differences from parents to progeny is called variations. Okay. The next one is parasitology. Okay, so that means what is the parasites? Yes, the organisms generally. Okay, the organism that live on the inside the other organism. Okay, or we can also say the organism which is lives in the host of another organism. They are called parasites. Okay, so for what purpose they will do like that? For the purpose of nourishment. Okay, for the purpose of the host. Okay, so for the purpose of nourishment and host, they will stay inside the other organism, or they are dependent on another organism. Such a type of organisms are called parasites. Okay, we will study about the parasites in the specialized branch called biology, that is parasitology, the study of parasites. Okay, Entamoeba histolytica, Trypanosoma gambiensis, Leishmania. Okay, and so these are all the Trichomonas. So Plasmodium. Okay, so these are all the different type of the some pathogenic protozoans which causes diseases also. They are called protozoan parasites. Okay, they causes the various diseases in human beings. Okay, so they are called parasites. Don't think that parasites are found only in case of the humans. They are also found in case of the animals as well as plants also. Okay. The next one is pathology. Okay. See, the study of the diseases of the plants and animals. Pathology means the study of diseases. Okay. The study of diseases of plants and animals also. Okay, as I told you in the earlier also, if we study the diseases of the plants, then it will be called plant pathology. In case of the animals, it will be considered animal pathology. What about in case of the humans? Human pathology. Okay, so that's what the pathology means, the study of diseases of plants and animals. Okay, what we will study? So here in this case, we will study about the transmission of the diseases, origin and the transformation, the spreading nature. Okay, what are the different symptoms, a life cycle, and finally, so what are the medicines so will be provided for the different type of the diseases. Okay, are the treatments. So these are all things we will stand under the pathology. The next one is very important one. Yes, immunology. Okay, the science that deals with the phenomenon and causes of immunity. See, generally, recently, if you would have observed, okay, if you would have, identified keenly, so there are a number of cases, even though in, one or two of the family, they must have deceased, okay, or they may be infected by COVID, but still there are different members of the people. That means in the same family only, they may get negative or periodically. Okay, so that means after a few days they may become positive. So how it will be? If you take an example of the common cold only, so for example, consider in your class one student is suffering from common cold. The next day or within 2 or 3 days, there are a number of students may become infected. But still, there are some children, one who is sitting just after you, they are feeling very well. They are not get any type of the symptoms also. The reason is clear, because their immune system is very strong. Okay, so that's what we will study under the specialized branch is called immunology, the science that deals with phenomenon and causes of immunity. Okay, so what is the immunity? The resistance. Okay, resistance to or defense against the diseases. Okay, so one who is having the strong immunity, so they may not suffer, okay, with a different type of diseases. One who will be having very weak immunity within short period of time, or there are a number of cases repeatedly they will suffer with different type of the infections. Okay, yes. So then a specialized branch is eugenics. Okay, what are the eugenics? The science which aims to improve the human race through controlled heredity. Okay, what is the eugenics? The science which aims to improve the human race through controlled heredity. Okay, for example, so generally nowadays the educated peoples, they are discouraging nearest relative marriages, isn't it? So earlier they may be not aware about all those things, but now the educated people, they are discouraging the nearest relative marriages. The reason is, what will happen if they marry very nearest relatives? There are a number of cases. There will be possibility of, that means in next generation they show unfavorable or harmful characters in the children due to the recessive genes. Okay, you must have heard about by birth only that boy or girl or baby having the hole in the heart, isn't it? You must have heard about the poor kidneys. In the beginning stage only, the baby may be suffering from, sugar or diabetic mellitus. How this all happens? Okay, so there are two possibilities due to the very nearest relative marriages as well as the genes. Okay, due to the genes, whenever they marry very nearest relatives, surely those will appear in the next generations. These are all things we will study under the specialized branch called eugenics. Okay, how it will helpful to us? So it will helpful to us to improve the human race. Okay, so that in the next generations we can avoid the hereditary disorders. So this is one of the examples. So generally, only healthy seeds must be sown. While we are growing the seeds, what we will check? The only healthy seeds will grow, isn't it? If we sow the unhealthy seeds, we will not get good crops, isn't it? So that's the reason. Check the seeds of the hereditary diseases and unfits by the eugenics. Okay. Yeah. The last one. Okay. The last branch of the biology with respect to in terms of specific group of the organism, biochemistry. Okay. The biochemistry is a study of chemicals and reactions that takes place inside the living things or living organisms. So these are all things we will study under a specialized branch of the biology called biochemistry. We can also say in general, the biochemistry is a combination of biology and chemistry. Where best example, the DNA fingerprinting technology. You must have heard about the metabolism terminology. The metabolism is nothing but the combination of anabolism and catabolism. Okay. So where it will be takes place? It is takes place inside the living system, or it is takes place inside the cells. Okay. So these are all things we will study under the branch called biochemistry. The best example, the DNA fingerprinting technology. Yeah. So this is how exactly we will study some of the principal subdivisions of the biology. Okay. So they are all interrelated, interconnected, interdependent on each other. So with the help of all these things, okay, as I said, the anatomy, histology, cytology, physiology, embryology, paleontology, genetics, parasitology, ecology, morphology. So this is all which comes under the specialized branch in terms of, that is nothing but in terms of approach on studying in it. Okay. So let it be. So next class we will continue the remaining things. Okay. Yeah, fine. Thank you. Have a nice day.